I'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Here.
Mr. Parati?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Facto?
Here.
Mr. Randall?
Great office. That's right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never
Maybe
had
throw me out, we don't know I'm back.
where you're sitting in the woods.
Maybe in the room.
Probably didn't have one. You didn't have one, so you were just down there.
All right, all board members have been provided with a copy of the minutes of the last meeting. A motion will be entertained to approve and accept the minutes of the regular monthly March meeting, 28th of March of 2023. Providing there's no additions or subtractions or corrections.
I'll make motion.
Second.
Sharon, Byrne. Roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Addresses, we have none. Communications, a few. Charter. Figure. This is actually a good one. Dear Municipal Officer, we value our customers and are committed to providing them with the latest products and technology, and we work hard to keep prices as low as possible. Effective May 16th of 2023, the price for on-return residential embedded multimedia terminal adapters D3 and newer models, wire and wireless, will be reduced by $1 per month. I got this in my supervisor's time too, but I'll just go over this quick. National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. Dear Supervisor, the National Center for Health Statistics, part of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, is conducting the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. A major study of health of persons living in the United States. Clinton County, New York has been randomly selected as one of the survey locations. For more than 60 years, data has been used to monitor the health and nutrition status of U.S. residents of all ages. Recent uses include measuring obesity, prevalence among children and adults, and the decline in HPV infections. Data are collected through household interviews and standardized medical examinations in our mobile examination center. The enclosed fact sheet describes NHANES, which is the National Health Institute Examination Survey, in more detail. Their staff will be conducting the survey in Clinton County starting on May 25th of 2023 through July 29th of 2023. Approximately 591 people from Clinton County will be asked to participate in the survey. Interviewers will be calling on selected households throughout the area. There is the following recommended CDC guidelines to keep survey staff and participants safe. For more information, please refer to the enclosed COVID-19 flyer. We have also enclosed a confidentiality brochure detailing the links that we take to secure the data. The information can also be found online. But basically, I'm not going to keep reading this, but basically what they want everybody in the town to know is if you get called, this is not, some scam. It is a legitimate federally funded national survey that has significant influence on our nation's health policy. We want you to be aware of our current activities, so you will better be able to answer any inquiries you may have about survey from the residents of the town. So again, if you get called on this, it's a National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. They want me to encourage you to participate in it. Also received this, and I made copies for all the councilmen. There's no sense of going over this tonight, but I did want to get this out to you as soon as you can. We've been looking for a while now to update our fees and our fee schedules for the codes. So Howard did a ton of work here, went through a couple towns that are on here. Actually, he's got 4 of them listed, what they charge, what we charge, and then if you look at the updated column in green, that is what he's suggesting the fees go up with. I can't remember, Donna, when the last time.
Before me.
Yeah,
Kevin,
so it's been 20 something
Do we have
years.
that?
No.
28
I'm gonna hand
to
it
be
to you right
exact.
now.
You're gonna say I
Here,
missed
that was got your name right on it. How's that?
All right. I'm saying I missed that.
Got Reggie. Mr. Burke. So, I made those up for you. Take a look at it. Put some comments on it if you want. If you like it, you don't have to comment. Just say okay at the end. And then what we'll do is next month, if you like what you see or you want changes, we got time to do a resolution to change these. Okay? More reading for you, more homework. Friends of the North Country, this hasn't really changed from last month. I got them all because I keep them in that file. Just the update on the New York State Office of Community Renewal, the 2022 Housing Rehabilitation Grant. We got 250-something thousand. So they have 13 applications in progress, and they only had 1 completed last time. They got 3, it looks like, completed this time. So if you want, I will give copies to each one after. Like I say, I keep these in the file anyway.
Here.
We gotta, that's part of the review of this particular grant, and if we don't do this, in fact, I gotta pull a couple files on that at some point in time, go up and see them, pull a couple files once they get working on the places, and look over what work was completed to make sure that it was what the contractor said, and that they had okayed. That was one of the things we got dinged on that 2017 one that Rich did. And the other one is to make sure that they don't draw money before we're ready to put it in our account and then get rid of it, because we only have 5 days from the time it reaches the town to actually write the check and get it out to them, or we're in violation of that grant. This is the annual audit and review of the personnel actions and salary changes to the town. This is to comply with civil service law. Enclosed is your fully certified 2023 payroll. This comes from Clinton County Department of Personnel, and they're saying that we passed the audit and everything's good, so we're certified in that payroll, which we do annually, every year annually. So we passed the test. You had talked about an interest in a salt shed when we talked at the work session last. She must have ESP, but Liz Tedford sent me an email, and I'll just read this quick. Hi Kevin, just following up on a potential grant application for salt storage shed. The application window is May through July, so we'd have to get going on this fairly quickly. So if moving forward, I would want to get started soon with preliminary stuff, like what type of building, what size, getting some water samples, etc. As an FYI, my cost of this, I'm not gonna say it out loud in case we get somebody else. And I don't want them to know what this bid is, the bid underneath it, but if you guys wanna see what it is, I got no problem with that. I just don't wanna publicly put it out there in case we do.
Do we make any contact with the lady on the pit?
I don't know.
The pit, when we talk about the workshop?
Oh, not yet.
Okay.
No, I've been working on the USDARD prior to bid paperwork. You know it. I'm like, oh my God, it never stops. So, all right, while you guys are looking at that, that's the last thing for communications. Throw it over, just so I can see the. All right, monthly reports. So everybody copy of the monthly reports. I take it you've seen them. So can I get a motion to
Yes.
accept? All right, so motion by Reg, second. All right, Mike. And roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
You get me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay. Only have 4 Y's down. Alright, receipts, tax collector, $20,161.26. Town clerk, $255. Macy Lane Water, $2,760.45. Morrisonville Water, $16,385.58. Woods Mills Water, $5,135.33. Justice Barber, $1,751. Justice Van Ortwick, $2,387. Cash receipts, Casella first quarter host fees, $119,093.19. So if I can get a motion to accept the receipt.
Motion.
Second. Mike, seconded by Sherm. Roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay, there was no minutes of the planning board or zoning board, those are both NA. Department reports, Councilman?
Yes, regarding the salt shed, Kevin, I believe that New York State DOT, they have various plans that we could get actually free of charge for salt sheds, dependent on whatever size that you guys want to put in there. And basically, we could possibly save money by doing that and then having an engineer just review them instead of hiring an engineer to actually design one. So would you guys consider possibly of doing that after you determine what size? Mike, any idea on the size at all at this point?
No.
Mike needs to know how many loads he's gonna have to put in there, and I think it's gonna go by yards probably, for the dozen. How many yards it'll hold?
Yeah, we usually put it with about 600 loads, tandem loads.
So how many yards are in your loads?
They're at least 14 yard per load, so.
So,
Compare that to Peru, how much, is that about the same?
so 14.
I don't think so. I think we're more,
14 yards, how many loads? 100 loads?
about 600.
About 600.
Correct. That's what we've been doing for years and years. We may be able to downsize, like I hate
Yeah.
to say, you know, but
Yeah, actually, Ricky and I had a conversation when he was down, and like you said, we keep both ends of that building open. Maybe we can keep some just pure salt in one
Oh, for
end,
sure.
and then you can load from there back towards the front
for sure,
with
yeah.
the mix. So we got a little bit of both. So
Mhm.
that would be the only recommendation that I agree that you should have
Oh, yeah.
openings on both ends
Yeah.
to do that, so that we can access either files that you need to.
I don't
All right,
know,
I'll
I
do
don't-
some math on that, and then I'm gonna check with, because we're one of the last holdouts. I know Dannemora, Beatmantown, Tona, Peru, I think they all have did them. So I'm gonna do some checking with them and see, they might even have plans too.
Sure.
They have to have plans, so.
I would think they would have
They're-
different plans for different amounts
Size,
of
yeah.
sand that you use.
Yeah, and like I said, the ones that I got from Barton and Judas, originally, that's the ones I showed you guys, they had, remember, several different sizes that they already had plans for. So I don't know, as far as utilizing their plans, if there's a cost for the, you know, for
Okay.
us to use them. But it'd still be cheaper than having somebody draw them probably.
Kevin, is there any grants out there coming?
That's what this is. This is the grant that is still available that will be opening in May. They originally were $1 million grants. They went to 750,000, and now they're down to, at least last year, we're down to 500,000, $500,000. And I believe these are 50-50 grants. So whatever we get, we have to match fund. I think it's a match fund, 50-50 grant. I'll do some talking with Liz, because she's been through this. She's been successful with getting those for, I know Dannemora and Saranac. I know she did both of those. I shouldn't say I know that, but I'm almost 100% sure she did those two. I know she did settle, and she's been very successful with getting them, so I'll take her lead on that and see what she comes
Okay.
back with for some information, but basically she wanted to know if we were interested, so I don't know what your thoughts are, how many quotes you want me to get on this, or it's personal services, so it's under the 10,000 mark, so
Yeah.
it doesn't require
Yeah.
the 3 bids or a resolution.
We've used her before and she was pretty effective.
She's really good. We used her on the income study for the Morsel Water Project, and we've also, we're utilizing her now for the DASNY grant for the splash pad, and she's been great with both of them, so. We don't have to decide that tonight. Like I said, I'll get at least one more, just so we have something to compare it by, but it didn't look like a terrible lot
Okay.
of money for what, the time she's gonna have in it.
And my last item was regarding the insurance claim from like 2 years ago
Mhm.
with the playground.
Yep.
Are we completed with that contractor at this point? Is
No.
all of the work done at this point?
No, none of it's done.
None of it is done.
None of it is done. So the money, excuse me, the equipment came in late last fall, and he couldn't start even the project last fall. So I contacted him probably, what do you got, ESP? I contacted.
You said that last time.
Yeah, I contacted him maybe a week or so ago, and I asked what was up and then whether it was on schedule. He did get back to me 2 days later, and he, don't ask me the guy's name, I don't have it right in front of me, but the guy from Miracle Equipment, that's the product that we're purchasing from, or the company we're purchasing from. When he went out and looked at the playground equipment from the last time, nothing against the guys that set it up, but the last time they set it up, they did not tension or tighten things right, and he was nice enough to volunteer his time to come up and help with the setup of that. So that's where they're at right now. Pat goes, he reached out to him, he's trying to get a couple, 2-3 days that he has that he can come up here and do that. He's out of Vermont. So as soon as they hook that up, he said he's ready to go. He stored that stuff for us all winter long. They didn't charge us for it, so. But no, we gave him, I think, half right up front.
Yeah.
And then the rest is on completion of the project. So that money's still in the general account for right now. But as soon as he can schedule that with the gentleman from Miracle Equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Alright, anything else?
Yeah, Sam's probably not gonna be here tonight, correct?
I know when he left here earlier, he said he had somewhere to be.
Well, it's been brought to my attention that, the fuel he has been purchasing for all his equipment, I guess he's been purchasing this fuel from Taylor Rental.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be much cheaper to go buy a few gas cans and go to like Stewart's and buy non-ethanol fuel? I know the price of that metal can fuel is outrageous.
Yeah, let's see.
$100 for 5 gallons.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a 5-gallon gas can and go to Stewart's and you can buy a whole case of mix
Yeah.
and mix it for, you can probably do 5-gallon cans full for what you're paying for one.
For sure, but you know, the thing, well, the thing of it is, you know, in the 5-gallon cans, they're a guaranteed mix.
Yeah.
You know, like when we mix them ourselves, you know, you may screw up a little bit. You know, don't take long to burn up a chainsaw or something.
No,
Yeah,
it's pretty
they
hard to, I mean, if, all your stuff is all made today. You get the container, you dump it in, you put 4 gallons of gas in it or whatever you're mixing it, and you're done.
But some of the, like, summer help here, like,
Yeah.
I won't say.
Yeah, but the
gender,
price,
any of
the price
summer
you're paying for
help
this
here.
fuel
Yeah.
is just ungodly.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where you can check with your personnel and say, hey, listen,
Alright.
this is the way it's gotta be mixed, or you mix it yourself and have it on hand.
Yeah, because 41 or 50 to 1, they have no idea. But I will tell you, over at the other building, we went through that after they burned up a couple chainsaws. And the other thing that we had problems with is that the ethanol that's in the gas now, even that
No,
they
if you go to
say it's
Stewart, you go
non-ethanol.
non-ethanol. I've
Yeah,
never had a
it's
problem in
supposed to
my
be
shop
like-
a day in my life.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's supposed to be less than 10% ethanol. That's why they call it non-ethanol. They had so much problems with the carbs that it's crazy. So I don't care whatever the board wants to do, but I can and I will talk to Bob. They found a place online. I didn't know that you could actually personally ship that right to the house. I thought it had to go to like a store.
No, you can get a
But he found it online, and I think 5 gallons was around 80 something bucks. And that's what they did. But I can check with them and see what they're getting it for. And we can, the only thing is we would have to set up an account. If you want to go to a particular, convenience store or gas station to get the non-ethanol.
Right.
I think the time they were telling us, talking to all the local departments, they said that Bucks at the time had the best non-ethanol. But that was a couple, 2-3 years ago. Because we started doing everything with the cans because even though we're burning up chainsaws anymore, they were still coming up with the mix. So I agree with you, it's expensive.
I mean, that's just, I was questioned on it, and I said I would bring it up
Yeah.
tonight, and
If you don't mind,
if that's the, I just can't believe we're paying that much money for fuel.
yeah, I don't know what he's paying.
Not when you can mix it carefully, and if you know what, if you need a little stabilizer in it, you can go down and buy a case of stabilizer for $40.
Yeah, you can put
Yeah, we
the
usually put that in. 'cause
stable or the
we do
seafoam.
multiple.
But you don't even want to use stable, but there's several other good ones.
Yeah, seafoam.
Well, if I could, while we're on this subject, Mike, you have chainsaws, correct? correct? You have the same type of equipment that Sam has.
Correct.
Weed whacker, the whole nine.
Okay. Not only that, where does Sam buy his gas for his trucks,
Up here.
his
in town, right?
lawnmowers, everything else? Does he get it through the highway department?
Yep.
Yeah.
So all his fuel comes through there?
Yep.
How about his maintenance, as far as oil changes, things of that sort?
Well, his man's been doing them, or else he sends it out to do it all.
So I guess my question is why wouldn't we go through the highway department and transfer from the recreation department to the highway department? You guys shouldn't have to pick up that cost. So every time he gets fuel, every time he gets non-ethanol, every time he gets an oil change or whatever, there should be a way that the highway department can bill the youth department and not have to go through all these loops here. Why wouldn't we just do it locally?
We do that.
But-
So,
Well, where do we get our gas for Sam's trucks?
highway,
Do you get reimbursed for it?
yes, he does.
I,
You do. I can answer that.
Okay. How do you get reimbursed? Now,
He
how
gets
much-
reimbursed through Sam's line on his recreation department.
So they write down every time? And I'm not trying to be a hard
Yeah,
ass.
they write down every
So
time they get.
you know every time he gets gas and everything, correct?
There's a
yes, yeah,
book
they
up
do,
there.
because we do have the sheet up there.
And they write down how many gallons
Correct.
and whether it was gas or nothing. He's got his, except for the tractor diesel. Yep, so he does get diesel up there. But
Yeah.
they'll write down the type of fuel, how many gallons they took, what the day was,
Right.
and
Perfect.
it's all.
And what it was for.
Yeah, that's the only way Mary can keep it straight to know who the
Well, no,
truck.
that's excellent. That's what my question was. But the other thing is like oil changes and maintenance or whatever,
The
you know,
The
transfer
oil
those
changes for the small lawnmowers, because the two-strokes don't need oil, but other than in the fuel. But all the small motors, Danny Gosling used to do all that. So Sam just changed the oil on the Ferris the other day. I told him I'd give him a hand because he's getting out there, but he didn't really want to wait, so he did that one. But yeah, they usually take care of all that themselves in-house. Danny was really good because Danny could do almost anything. You know, he worked on the stuff. I don't mind helping him with that. Matter of fact, conversation for another day, a work session or whatever. But yeah, if we can hook something up, let me get a couple prices. Online prices. We're gonna save at least 30, 40 bucks on that.
Mike, do you guys buy the same fuel that Sam does, or do you mix yours?
I do occasionally, yes. Because of the thought that we, you know, if the mixture does get screwed up, I usually have one man do the mixtures,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when we're mixing it. And we have the cans identified,
Right.
also, you know, label. But it's just the fear,
Mm-hmm.
maybe somebody might
We
change.
ran into the same thing like down at the fire station because we gotta have metal cans over there. We can't use plastic cans to
Yeah.
transport.
And them cans are
And they're
very
the pain in the
expensive
butt
too.
ones with the flip open thing, with the snapshot. And even when we write on them with black magic marker, mixed or straight,
Yeah.
somebody still inadvertently put the straight gas in a two-stroke.
Yeah.
So they can't go. They all know the blue and yellow can now is
Yeah.
pre-mixed. And it's non-ethanol.
If I'm not smart enough, I shouldn't say not smart enough for that.
They're just not. They just don't knowledge. They don't have the
Educated.
knowledge to know what the difference is and that it matters. They
Yes.
think a motor's a motor is a motor sometimes. And
Right.
if they're not mechanically inclined, then they don't understand that two strokes.
Then they
Yeah, but you
shouldn't be
take
doing
like the
that.
people at the town.
Yeah, they
guys all
should know it.
it.
I
You guys
agree
all
with
know
you.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Usually got one,
But
yeah,
we-
one is blue, one is.
I will
one's
tell you
clear.
this.
You ought to be able to tell the difference.
We cut our mechanical costs enough that it was worthwhile paying for the other gas on the line in ordering it.
well, if you're paying $40 or $50 more for 5 gallons of fuel, I hate to put it to you this way, you can burn up a lot of pistons for the money you're spending in a year.
Yeah, well, it's not just the business, it's the work. somebody's gonna do it.
Could I just say one thing, and I'll be very brief about it? About the recreation, the maintenance, the mowing of fields, and so forth. We've got 4 of them, obviously. Salmon River, River Street, right here, and Woods Mills. I think we ought to take a look at subbing some of these out to companies, because we have trouble with this every year in terms of this thing with gas out of sight, personnel problems, equipment breaking down. And I'll bet you if we calculate up what we're spending, we could maybe take a look at a small contractor doing a couple of these fields. Because Sam is so busy, I've seen him out there 8:30 at night mowing. It's crazy. It's almost dark. The guy's out there mowing these things. But maybe during budget time, we could possibly consider that.
I wanna say they're gonna get about $175 an acre
But maybe we could take a look at that
without,
for next year.
without weeding.
Because
I'm
We don't
just-
even have enough personnel there, do we?
That's-
We didn't get hired up for what we needed, did we?
Well, if we pass the resolution tonight, we'll have 4.
3.
He's trying to, oh, did he switch it back to 3? I
I
thought
don't
he
know, they
said
gave
4.
me 3 names.
No, I know, but he wants to hire 4. He's got another one that he's waiting.
Oh, the girl that's coming back, we don't need a resolution for her.
Right.
But anyway, I'd throw it anyway. out there.
Tori is the one coming by.
What do you think?
She's already.
I think it's worth looking into.
I do too.
Well, I definitely think what Vern said is excellent. We should be working with the highway department, mixing, saving costs between recreation, highway, wherever we can. That's my own point on my point. So we can move forward from here. We're actually doing that, so.
Let me do a little research on what we can. I'll check how much it is a gallon up there for the non-ethanol.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's all I
I
want.
can check a couple.
It was brought to my attention by an individual from the town, so I,
And I
Brought it
think
up.
Bucks has it. and
You know,
I think
even
there's
better
3.
yet, I mean, I got that 500-gallon tank up there full of non-ethanol gas. Why not just drain it all and get ethanol-free gas put into it? And then our problem's solved, because everything will
Yep.
be ethanol-free. Instead of paying
Other than
$4
making
and
sure I
something a
mix it right,
gallon,
that's all. Yeah.
you know, it'll be, then you won't have any fear.
yeah, and I'm sure if you went to some of your people, like, I'm just using examples for names, like Taylor Reynolds, and say, hey, listen, we want 10 cases of premix. I'm sure they're gonna give you a discount if you're going in there to order that much. And it's never gonna go bad. I don't care if you store it on the shelf for 4 years. It's not going bad, it's oil.
Yeah, the gas doesn't go bad either. That's the nice thing about it. And it don't shellac up the carburetors.
So is that something, Mike, you can work on, or bring it back to us, or Vern?
I can look into it.
I'll check on a couple places. I'll check with Bobby, like I said.
If you happen to see Sam, you can ask him, you know, what he's paying, and I can look into the rest. If he's not, I mean, if he's paying this ungodly price, like we're thinking, then let me know, and I can go down and I can look into, with Chris or somebody at different places. I've got 3 distributorships myself right through my business that I could probably save you a ton of money on for oil.
Good, can we bring it up next meeting?
Well,
Figure out what
I'll get with you guys before so we can hook something up for the main meeting.
That's fine, I'll work with you on it.
Just give me a holler what you're finding out. I'll keep you in the loop of what I'm finding out. And like I said, we'll go from there. Mike, if you think that tank is in good shape, I can check with MX and see if,
Changing over to
I'll
non-ethanol.
see if they got the non-ethanol in it.
How many gallons is the tank?
500, I believe.
You got fuel in it now, Mike?
Yeah, yeah.
They could probably.
And that's a
pump it out.
spare, that's one you don't really need?
Huh?
That's a spare?
No, we've got 2,000, 1,000 fuel oils.
Yeah.
And we've got a gasoline.
Okay, yeah, but you don't wanna pouring this in the gas trucks. That's pretty expensive fuel to put in gas trucks. I thought you had another tank. you were
No,
talking
no,
about.
no, yeah, no, we don't.
It might be well worth it to get a tank once I check with them and see how much they'll charge us to.
Well, we'd have to, you know, go by the code with the storage for them and everything, you know, they gotta be concealed,
No, because
you know, but,
you don't want a gas vehicles or V8s burning this, not at that kind of price. You know what I mean?
because all the newer vehicles call for the ethanol.
Yeah, the E85 or whatever,
Yeah.
which, 15%. I mean, even at the, for down at the docks at the boat, they say it's, they say it's
Yeah.
non-ethanol. It just means it's less than 10% ethanol.
Mhm.
The problem with the frickin' alcohol is it absorbs water, That's where you get into the problems. Alright, so we got some homework to do. And we'll figure out from there. I guess we're a committee of two. How's that sound?
Good.
Good thought. Good thought. Mikey,
What's that?
you got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Highway.
Yeah, well, we're cleaning roadsides up. We're working on the trucks, so,
Between the raindrops.
yeah. And I'm looking for another worker. The other two fell through. Yeah, they did. They went back to their bosses and told them that they were giving them the 2 weeks notice and everything like that. And the next thing you know, the same day, they were called in for meetings and they upped their wages. And so they're staying where they are.
Well, at least you got them a raise.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them we had all set.
Both of
even-
them, it's-
Even the physical and everything.
Yeah.
All done.
Both of them, it's identical. It's like, wow, this is
We
weird.
were gonna hire him tonight. The board.
Yeah.
Mike, any plans on the shoulders in the town? A bore on the shoulder machine?
I'm gonna try
Or,
real hard again this year. Yeah.
thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh,
No, I was wondering about it. I've been asked about it,
yeah,
so
no.
figured I'd ask.
No problem with that. Alright. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the guys that the roads are starting to look good.
Yeah, thank you. We actually got a comment already tonight on some of
I
the
know there was
cleanup
enough in the village.
from Mr.
to say.
Dabrowski.
I seen what they were sweeping up.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks Mike. Anything
You're
for water?
There's a report in there that the town of Plattsburgh sent. There was a resident on River Street. Apparently, it was a foreclosure which no one told us about, nor did the water get turned off. And in 2 months' time, when they went in, because the bank went in, they used over 1 million gallons of water. So we're gonna have quite the bill. I don't know whether we can send it back to the bank or, to build the bank, but we're gonna look into it.
Yeah.
What do they do? Leave like a
Yeah,
faucet?
no, that's what I was telling
No, it must be the
them.
pipes busted
that-
and nobody knew.
In that case,
It was on the main and it just got beat.
in that case, they should have notified us, the town of Plattsburgh over there and shut that down. So it was running in the basement. That's why nobody's seen the water. And everybody knows that the ground in the village here is all gravel. So the water goes right through it. So you're not gonna see it bubbling out of the ground like you would where it had clay or anywhere else. So that's the issue with the water system, is it could be leaking all over and you're never gonna know. You're never gonna see it because it's never gonna come up. It's just gonna go right through the ground. That's a good example right there, 1 million gallons of water plus. So, yeah, we're gonna check and see if we can find out who the bank is and see if we can't recoup any of that money.
So I assume it's turned off now.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it is now. In hindsight, 2020, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get it on a bill and send them the bill.
Yeah.
And then if the bill's not paid, it gets re-levied.
Well, it's not in the people's name anymore. It's in a bank's name.
Yeah, but the bank's the owner now. So
Right, but Val's,
when they eventually sell it, they gotta pay the tax, all the taxes, everything else
Right.
has to be taken care of.
That's for the county now, though.
because it's flat rate though. So Val's gonna do some calculation from the town of Plattsburgh, find out how much we should be looking at to try to recoup.
Right.
The only way to calculate it is basically go off the average at the master meter over by the bridge, what we usually use in a quarter. And that's how they found out that we're way over what we usually did.
Broke.
Yeah,
So they're gonna have to calculate what that meter reading was compared to what it should have been. And that's the only way we're gonna be able to do it.
yeah.
And then I believe the only way we can recoup it back if we do it tax-wise is it's gotta go to Kimberly Davis at the county. They can levy against it.
Right, it gets re-levied.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, you gotta
We'll
get the
make the
bill
whole,
out, get it
and then-
re-levied, because when the bank sells that
Yeah.
place, they're going, all of that stuff has to be taken care of at closing.
To put on the taxes, yeah,
Yeah.
like he's saying. But
Yeah.
she used to be able to do it. I took that.
I still do it.
Yeah. You can do unpaid portion of the level of
The
the bills,
re-levy.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it still goes through the county. All right. So yeah, that was a nice surprise. Safety codes.
On the sheets that you handed out, I'll be glad to come in on a work session and work with you guys on those, go over the
I
different
think we'd
things.
appreciate it. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. Anything else from town clerk?
No.
I got nothing from Gary. Planning board, no. Dog control submitted this thing. Attorney?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Right there.
The other side. Yeah,
They're usually back there.
I know.
Creature
Switch it
hat.
up, yeah, you know. Yeah, we had our birthday celebration, birthday cake, about 25 people were here on April 4th to celebrate the 175th official birthday of the town. I don't know how many of you saw the paper, but on April 6th, 2 days later, we had a 2-page spread in the Press Republican with 4 pictures, and then the following Wednesday, there was an editorial in the Press Republican saying congratulations to Town of Schuyler Falls. So that was all a success. This Friday, which is April 28th, in the morning, we're going to do a cleaning of the historic markers in the town, as many as can, depending on who shows up besides me. There's a paper there that's got information on it. It basically, just show up here between 9:30 and 10, split into groups if there are people, and go out in buckets and sprayers and just gently wash whatever we can. And there are about 20 markers in the town. We probably won't go after any of the monuments, because that's using a different spray, but it helps to keep them clean. It's National Historic Marker Day. Who knew?
Yeah.
So this is the second year, third year for them.
So
So, yeah, it'll be fun. And if you can't make it on Friday, and you have an interest in doing some markers, or one marker, or whatever, just let me know. And we can provide the information, and you can pick the marker that you want. And then, it doesn't take too long. I think I did like 10 of them in a couple hours last year. So, that's it.
I know I speak for the whole board when I say thank you very much for everything you did for the 175th. We got a lot more to do for the August 12th weekend. Anybody wants to help out, there's a lot to do, and we plan on doing a parade and having some vendors here, some local companies, representative of the town, and some history again.
Yeah,
the
it's kind of-
background naturally of the town. It's not the 50-year increment, but it's still a big one, 175. So anybody that is willing to help out with that, I know that we would appreciate it. And we're still working on bands for
And
mostly
music.
you. Put a lot on you.
Anything else?
Mostly bands for the music in the park.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get that schedule set, but the board would like to thank you, I know.
Yeah.
So thanks for all that.
Send money.
Nah.
No, send time.
Yeah,
Thanks, they're wonderful.
all right. Piece of paper. Alrighty, the supervisor's time, just a few quick updates. So we have reached out to 3 potential IT firms, we have completed interviews with all of them, and we have made the decision to hire layer 8, you'll see that in a resolution in just a little bit. As we had reached out to Carl, our previous IT provider, to fill in as needed for the few short weeks until a new IT provider was hired. His services will be terminated as of May 1st, provided the offboarding and the onboarding is completed by then, because I don't want to be without one. I would like to personally thank him for again stepping in on such short notice and taking care of us during our time of need. And he didn't have to, and he did. So I appreciate everything that Carl did. He's been in here a couple, 2, 3 times. Since
And our computers were down
Yeah.
one day, didn't have a
The
computer to
the servers
do
were down.
anything. The
Everything
server
was
was
down.
down.
So if we wouldn't have had him, it would have been a debacle. So I do appreciate it, and I want to thank him on the record. Things are still moving at a fast pace for the Morsel Water Project. Several resolutions that were passed in February, on February 28th, have allowed us to continue successfully with the project as to date. Several other prior bid documents have been completed. Signed agreement with the bond council, that's been accepted already by USDARD. Bond resolution form submitted and accepted, and the the SF 3881 electronic fund transfer payment enrollment form was submitted and also accepted. Legal services agreement with Mr. McCormick is almost completed. It will be submitted, I'm hoping, this week. We're just waiting on the Schedule E, which dictates what USDARD requires a not to exceed limit. So I'm trying to get that for Mr. McCormick, and then he will sign that. Each one of these is specific forms right from USDARD. So that will be happening hopefully this week. A walkthrough was performed of the new land area proposed to receive the updated 12-inch main. I mentioned that we're going to do that up to the water tower off the Flat Rock Road. We are awaiting a final agreement as a new letter of proposed mapping will be sent to the Rock family for their review. So as soon as they review it, the terms they discuss, where they wanted it, what they would like to have saved as far as trees through there. Nothing's rock solid until they agree to it, but things are moving forward. So as soon as they review it and get back to the engineer and myself, we'll bring that back to the rest of the board, and we'll go from there to try to reach in right-of-way agreement for that new main. The old right-of-way is still there. If we have to, we can still run down that old right-of-way. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that and put that new piping through the middle of that field if we can get it over to the Flat Rock Road, and it's a lot easier to maintain over there. And it would give hydrants over there also, so that'll help with the help with a couple different things. It'll help with the ISO rating, and then it'll help with homeowners insurances if they got a hydrant within 500 feet of their home. That'll actually is a deduction on their insurance. So there's a few reasons why we're moving that out of that field. If worse comes to worse, we can still run it the other way. Prior to bid, grant paperwork will continue to be completed. I've completed 21 of the 29 forms. I went over that. RJ was up today from the Burge. She was up in the area. He stopped in here for about a half hour, 40 minutes. We went over some of the other forms that need to be done, and those were the 9 forms. So I think by the time he left, we had 3 more pretty much resolved. The others were waiting on a few key things to get those completed. Mason Lane Water Project was put out to bids for material and work to be performed on the project. No bids were received. We will be re-advertising this for bid in the Plattsburgh Press for a second time. We are still hoping to get this project started the early part of the summer. So again, Ron was beside himself too. He goes, I cannot believe nobody bid on that project. So we'll put it out there again. Even though we put it in the paper, the engineer puts it out on the web to the engineering web, the contractor's websites. The problem is that there's been so much federal money getting thrown around right now that they booked stuff up last year for this summer. So we'll do what we can to get the thing bid out and get going on the project, but we're going to try to rebid it one more time. And there was one company that did get a hold of us yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Which is another contractor provided website, and they wanted to know if we could give them an update as to the bid and what it entailed and when it was going to be open. It was only a day away, so it was too late to do that. So I'll reach back out to them as soon as we get the resolution passed tonight to go out to rebid, and then I'll contact them with the new information and the new rebid and opening date.
So if we can't send that letter out to those people who live on Wixon yet? Have we done that yet?
I am in the process of doing that. Mr. McCormick did some markups to both of those. I sent them out to LaBerge, and he looked at them and then said, okay, I'd feel more comfortable if we had the attorney finish writing it. There's a couple things that that Mike had asked for without getting into too much specifics, like a notary when I sign it. The rest were just like little word changes here or there. Shall
Yeah,
work.
some additions. Yeah.
And then there was one sentence that you wanted added into